While the racing focus has been on the gallops, the spotlight was temporarily switched to harness racing today for the largest provincial pacing race, the Kilmore Cup. And once again, the day belonged to the Knights. Their 6-year-old Amendment won the Cup, and the stable's #1 pacer, Sinbad Bay, had a successful comeback after a 20-month layoff.
Sinbad Bay had just 15 starts before breaking down in March 1989. Bob and Vin Knight's Kilmore staff presented Sinbad Bay in immaculate condition, and despite the betting drift, the 6-year-old led all the way in the CUB sprint.
But the superstar is back, and Sinbad Bay careered away from them with 100 to go. He's about 8 metres in front of Dallas County and running on Crafty Jed, but the Sinbad's back in fine style, wins at 10 metres.
He looks good, like you'd seen him the other day, and he looks terrific, and he's going terrific, and I'm very pleased with him.
The Kilmore Cup is one of the most sought-after pacing cups, and Bob and Vin Knight had 2 starters, the favourite Amendment and Almeida Boy, who was driven by Vin's brother-in-law, Stephen Dove. There was also some other famous names, including Rufus Youngblood, another Bart, Franco Tiger and He's a Jazzer. Amendment blew the start but worked to the front 2 laps from home and was desperately driven by Knight on the turn.
Amendment kicked into the straight, 4 metres clear of the stablemate Almeida Boy trying to run it down. Then Armani, and down the outside it's Motor Power. Amendment in front with 100 metres to go. Almeida Boy trying hard, flashing home Franco Tiger, but Amendment's going to win the Cup. Amendment by a metre.
I was very pleased with him. He missed the start, and he's had a couple of hard runs lately. And when I burned him around the field early, I just was a little bit worried about, 15 furlongs, I'd burn him a little bit. If I hadn't burned him, I wouldn't have been worried about the journey. But it was just a decision I made early in the race, and it paid off, I think.
And the results from the Kilmore Cup: #4 Amendment, $1.15 and 75, 14 Almeida Boy, $1.10, and 3rd Franco Tiger, $1.10 as well. Well, the countdown is on for the 1990 Melbourne Cup, and in just 8 days' time, the nation will stand still for the famous horse race. Dan Malicki tonight assesses trainer Lee Friedman's chances of winning 2 in a row.
And Terrific's going to win the Cup for Lee Friedman. Terrific kicked away and wins it. Quinella for Lee.
Lee Friedman started 2 horses in last year's Cup, and they finished 1st and 2nd. This year, the Master Flemington trainer will have 3 runners: Terrific, VRC St Ledger winner Frontier Boy, and the Argentinian Savage Toss. Friedman is still yet to decide what his 3 horses will start in on Saturday, or who will be riding them. But Darren Gauci is favoured to ride Terrific in the Cup.
I always pick the riders for these major races on form. We'll just have to monitor things now that they're back.
Terrific jarred up on Saturday at Moonee Valley, and Lee is treating the stallion with ice packs.
He's a very tough horse, and he's got over it very quickly, and he's back to normal today.
Frontier Boy on the right has come through his preparation perfectly. Friedman is confident the 4-year-old will stay 2 miles.
A very tough tradesman-like horse, and he'll be there at the finish.
In the latest Cup betting, Frontier Boy is quoted at 8 to 1 on the 2nd line, behind Sedest and Shazora, and the Phantom, equal 6 to 1 favourites. Terrific is still safe at 10 to 1, while you can write your own ticket with Savage Toss, who is quoted at 100 to 1. Dan Malicki for the 10 Evening News.
American Jody Mudd today won golf's richest prize, the Nabisco Championship. Mudd defeated fellow countryman Billy Mayfair on the first hole of a sudden death playoff after both men were locked together at 11 under. Ian Baker Finch finished equal 3rd at 8 under, while Greg Norman came in equal 7th, but still won the trophy as the American Tour's leading money winner.
Ian Baker Finch looked a big threat during the final round, and even though this superb chip for birdie on 17 saw him move to 8 under, it wasn't enough to get him into the playoff. It was 2 of American golf's lesser lights, Billy Mayfair and Jody Mudd, who fought it out. This birdie on 17 moved Mayfair to 11 under and a 1-stroke lead. Mudd then birdied 17 and needed another birdie on the last to force a playoff. Mayfair was obviously rattled. His tee shot on the first hole of sudden death went into the sticks, a long way in. The sad look on his face told the story. Mudd needed only par to win. He went one better. His 3rd consecutive birdie to take the Nabisco Championship and the first prize cheque, a useful $600,000. Stephen Quartermain, 10 Evening News.
And Australia's best chance in the World Rowing Championships, the men's double sculls team of Peter Anthony and Paul Reedy were our only winners on the first day of competition at Lake Barrington in Tasmania. But the news wasn't so good for former world champion Adair Ferguson, who will have to qualify through the repechage after finishing 3rd in her heat. Adair Ferguson, the 1985 world champion and one of Australia's major hopes for gold at these championships in the women's lightweight scull, could only manage third in her heat today behind the West German champion Ingrid Heitscher and Belgium's Rita de Fawn. Like Ferguson, the Australian lightweight Coxless 4 crew will have to qualify through the rapid charges on Wednesday. The Australians look set to win their heat, but a strong final 200 metres saw the Dutch crew take the race. Despite a strong finish, the Australian women's double scull team of Jenny Luff and Gillian Campbell were unable to beat the Americans. But our best chance for gold lies with Peter Anthony and Paul Reedy in the men's double sculls. The pair have qualified for the final, but will go in underdogs behind the strong East German team. And it's Grand Prix week in Adelaide, and Nigel Mansell has arrived determined to improve his poor record in Australia. Mansell says he wants to finish a winner with Ferrari after 2 seasons of playing second fiddle to Alain Prost.
Adelaide hasn't been a happy hunting ground for Mansell, a blowout costing him the World Championship in '86. But now, after 2 controversial years in Alain Prost's shadow at Ferrari, the British Formula One driver is desperate to win the Australian Grand Prix, particularly now Prost has lost his World